Well, good evening, Star Wars fans. Got another exciting episode of Holotheatre tonight. Joining me tonight is the one, the only, Chris Gogolen, master of the PC store. And oh yeah, that's right, Mr. Hall of Fame, Chris Gogolen. So how you been, man? It's been a while.
Tired of hearing that, seeing the, yeah, it's been a long time for me. Been away for a little while. Obviously,
Yeah.
work's been insane for the last 6 months, and it's not going to get any better anytime soon. But
You know what? I mean, I like how you have your Hall of Fame award back there. You have another one, is that correct? Or you have, what else is back there?
yeah, I have two of them because funny story. They ordered them for the MPC,
Mm-hmm.
but they forgot to change the shipping address, so the trophies got shipped to Works in Seattle.
Wow.
By the time they arrived in Seattle, he had already flown to Jersey for the MPC.
Yeah.
So they had to rush another order of them. And then they're like, "What are we gonna do with the second one?" I'm like, "I'll take it."
So does Matt?
Sokol has,
I was gonna say, does
yeah,
Sokol have two as well?
yes, he does. He was like, "I will absolutely take two." He was like,
Yeah.
"Like bookends or something with them." And
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
that's cool. There's only the two of you are the only ones with two glass Hall of Fame awards. Like, I would love to have one, so I'm jealous. But I also notice you have a plethora of cards behind you. Are those your cards or are they the PC's cards?
those are store cards that I have, casually sorted, but still have to get
Casually.
in inventory. And yeah, like they're separated into set, but that's about as far as I got.
Hey, you know what? That's more than I expect a lot of people to do. I know a lot of card stores out there just have like a container of cards, and they kind of have an idea, but
Right.
that's
No,
I'm
everything's
glad.
broken down by set.
That's good. I'm happy that you have a system in place for yourself, because I don't want you to be too stressed. You've done a lot for the PC, and the more stress that you're taking, it's gonna wear you thin.
Oh, I've been burning the candle at both ends for about 4 years now, and
Uh,
when you get on the wrong side of 40, that starts to catch up with you.
Plus, it doesn't help that you're a Jets fan, but that's besides the point.
I- that's actually easy. You just expect to lose every game and not have to worry about it.
That's a good point.
We gave up hope a long time ago.
Well, I mean, you got somewhat of hope, but again, we're gonna stick off that. That's a subject for another. That's a subject for Sundays. Tonight we got to talk about Star Wars. More importantly, we have to talk about Worlds. So,
Absolutely.
for those who don't know, once you were registered for Worlds and you got put into your pods, well, if you have a problem with your pod, Chris is the guy you want to talk to. So just as a quick reminder, for those who will actually bring up the pods right here, give me 1 second. Bring up the pods. Okay, so thanks to Bill for posting these. But as you can see, we got the pods right here. So the Saturday at 4 a.m. Let me make it a little bit bigger for everybody. This one's highlighted by, I would say this one's highlighted by Bastion.
Yeah,
Cle-
there's definitely a number of. I mean, each pod has a number of strong players in
Mhm.
it, but a few familiar names, a few guys who have made, world. There's a couple world champions kind of sprinkled throughout.
True.
It was actually a little insane. You guys, I appreciate this. Most of you made this pretty easy. You kind of broke yourselves into separate pods, and we knew that going in. To at least some degree, that certain
Mhm.
time slots were going to favor certain people. Like Saturday at 4 a.m. clearly favors the European community.
Yeah.
It's 10 a.m. there. You're not going to get a lot of West Coast people unless they're staying up till 1 a.m. and then playing a tournament.
That's me, by the way. I'll be
Right.
up at
Yeah.
midnight to to start the commentary and everything.
Right. But for the most part, people trying to play and trying to stay focused for 6 games, literally probably going to take 9 to 10 hours to play.
Yeah.
Starting at 1 o'clock in the morning for you, not going to get too many West Coast people who are going to fit that schedule.
No,
We have 1 or 2 Central U.S. people in there.
I saw
I
that.
know for them it was more of a convenience with child rearing.
Mhm.
Like, hey, I can play in the middle of the night, and when my kids are asleep, get a couple games in. My wife will watch the kids in the morning. Maybe daddy will get a nap in, and then take over the evening shift kind of thing. So
Yeah, and I mean, you said it right now. Like, I see that Matt Lutz and Kendall Hallman,
yeah,
CRG,
both
and
of them are.
Corin. I like this
Yeah.
one because they're partners for the Bad Deck Breakdown, but they're in the same pod.
Oh, Oh yeah, they're playing the same bad decks now. Matt's actually been playing pretty well lately. Playing
Yeah.
a lot, and Paul Myers is in there as well. He's in Florida, so that'll be a weird time zone for him. But again, fits in with his kid's schedule. So
Yeah, and that makes sense. And I will say this: if somebody can take on that challenge of playing really, really early in the morning, I think it's going to be Paul.
hmm
I will go on record and say that Paul has surprised me in the last couple of months. I didn't know who Paul was to start off, and I did underseed him in my predictions
hmm
for the OCS Top 16. So good job in making it to the finals, Paul. You did surprise me, but you played well, and I have a greater respect for you as a player.
Paul's an old school Decipher player
Mm-hmm.
who I guess found his way back to the game because of Gemp and has been playing pretty consistently the last 2 or 3 years. Pretty much playing
Mm-hmm.
the same two decks the last 2 or 3 years. So you hope that
Yeah.
his ability to play them would have improved, and it's done really well. But looking at this 4 AM pod, we mentioned Bastion at the top headlining it. You can't forget Tom Kelly right there as well.
No.
Another
Um.
North American player. The two of them playing in the finals of Worlds 2 years ago.
So yeah, and Tom's just getting back into the game, and
hmm
I think with the reinvention of Watch Your Step, I think that favors him as a player. Uh, Outside of that, I really don't think there's a dark side for Tom, but at the same right now, I don't think there's a dark side for anybody. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of good players. Like don't sleep on Justin Branch,
Oh yeah,
Kieran,
yeah. Plenty
Zemawat.
of top heroes in there. Yeah,
Uh,
Sagnet's in there.
yeah.
Zimowit coming back after a very long hiatus.
Oh yeah.
He's got multiple European Championship finals in under his repertoire. I think he's been. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
lost to like Emil and lost to Bastion. Top four, top two, a couple of years. So
And there's nothing wrong in that. So,
I listen
and
to them all the time. So
yeah, and I feel like with this bracket, you're going to see the more interesting decks. So what I would do is if you want to get up, like for your East Coast players, if you want to get up at 4 a.m., this is probably going to be the bracket. It's going to be the most entertaining. You're going to see a lot of interesting decks. Clearly, DDM, David
yeah.
DeFastanis, uh, if you haven't met him or had a chance to play him, he comes up with the craziest decks, but he's like one of the nicest guys
Mhm.
in our community. So yeah, I like this one. And
Yeah,
so
lots of people with crazy decks in there. I mean, obviously you got your bad deck breakdown guy.
yeah.
Kendall have to play something crazy. Uh,
Well, I mean, do you think his 12? Okay, Kendall has gone on record saying that he wants to play a 12 card throne room. Is that crazy for him, or is it crazy because it's throne room and everybody is so used to playing throne room a specific way?
I guess it's going to depend on what you expect to see in your pod there. I mean,
True.
Throne Rooms does still have some good matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Decks, Hunt Down V is popular.
I
Mains versus mains kind of thing.
yeah,
You're
and
not giving up them any force icons.
yeah, and I think with the
So,
main, I think with that deck, it's a little bit more of a coin flip. Like I know the old throne room versus hunt down is kind of like a coin flip. It's just whoever can hold
yeah,
the
whoever
battlegrounds.
gets that, yeah, whoever wins that first big battle usually is the one who just, they dig in,
Yeah.
and the game just kind of snowballs away there. So,
Mm-hmm. So just as a reminder, so to advance to day two, you have to go
4-2.
4-2. Okay, so it is a
Four and
six.
two.
So every player is going to be playing 6 games. You have to go 4-2 to at least make it to next Saturday, essentially, or
Right.
the 12th. So
Yeah.
yeah. So who do you like in this bracket coming out?
So that's the thing too. Obviously, 4-2. You've got 24 people, 24
Mm-hmm.
people in this bracket. I expect that realistically, I don't know what the exact what the math works out because it always gets a little weird too with the possible pair downs on
True.
the sides. If game 3 or game 5, like one side is just kind of lopsided and everybody gets paired down, it kind of skews all the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you can probably realistically expect to see 8 to 10 people advancing from each pod at 4-2 or better.
Yeah, and if we get 40 people into essentially, like I said, day two, I think that's a good
Day two.
number. Yeah.
It actually kind of reminds me a lot of the old Cypher events. And I don't know if you happened to catch any of Kendall's interviews. He was interviewing Matt Sokol, and Matt was talking about his experience in 2000 Worlds. And, you know, their day one open had like 150 people in it, and they took the top 38 to day two. And 38 to 40 is usually the people who used to have to qualify, winning regionals, winning Gen Con, winning Origins to get to day two.
Yeah.
It was usually like 38 to 40 people. So if we get that number again, 25th anniversary, you know, kind of nostalgic, makes for a feel good story.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, on a side note, though, I will say this. As a nostalgic, I would love to see the PC to bring back the plates. For those who haven't seen the old Decipher trophies for first place, they were essentially a metal plate as a trophy. Those things were cool.
I wonder if I can attach the picture, because I actually have a picture of Raph's trophy.
You know what? If you can send it to me, I'll be able to show the viewers and everything of it. But yeah, I mean, out of this bracket, the first two names, like you said, I like the Bastion. I like Tom Kelly. He might be a little rusty, but he's Tom Kelly. I mean, he knows his decks. He likes to play them. I think he's going to be solid. Paul Myers, again, I like him. Matt Slut, we just talked about him. I like Kieran. I like Kieran a lot. I like Justin. And I think my there's a few other names that I recognize, like Ricard Erickson. He's a player over there who I'd take a look at. Darren Mullins, he's another one. I wouldn't be surprised if any of those make it. Ziemwat, but I think
don't sleep on Giannetti, right? I mean, obviously Giannetti made the Texas Mini Worlds cut, didn't he?
I want to say he possibly. I don't remember. No, I don't think he did. No, but he did make it to the final four of the NPC, I believe.
Something there, yeah. I mean, he obviously just made a big cut somewhere.
Yeah,
so,
I'm not. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, I wouldn't sleep on Giannetti. But I think out of this one, I like Justin Branch the most. And I think out of everybody in this bracket, don't get me wrong, Bastion. I like Bastion.
Yeah.
But I think Justin Branch is probably I like him to go with the best record out of this bracket.
Certainly an interesting, bold prediction there.
You know what? Yeah, I'm all about So, and then on to our Saturday at 10 a.m.
I did just send you the picture in Discord. I don't know if you can see it.
Okay. Actually, would you mind sending it to me on Facebook or Slack? Okay. That's actually going to be easier. But yeah, the Saturday at 10 a.m. This one's kind of a heavy hitter. Like, actually, no. I mean, this one has, I want to say, the most world. Does it have the most champions, or is it the next bracket? Yeah, because I know this one has two in Phil and Desai.
Justin?
Yeah, you got Justin. You got... and like I said, you got Phil. Those are the two that I'm looking at right now.
For a second while I'm loading Slack.
But yeah, I mean, this one, you got... I like... This one, I think, is going to be... There's at least 10, maybe 12 players I like in this one. Right away, you have Justin Miyashiro, Colorado guy, member of Team High Ground. He's performed really well recently. He performed rather well in the NPC, did pretty decent at the Texas Mini World, so I like him. David Woods, he's another one who I like, just because, one, he's completed the most deck building challenges. And to me, that's just kind of funny. So I think, like, the fact that he has kind of taken a lot of the challenges that we have presented and done well with them, you know, that says something. But after that, I mean, you have Gavin. He's always a contender in the OCS. he plays a lot of the same style of decks as Phil, or not Phil, Paul Myers. So again, with the new Hitco, that plays right into his deck style. After that, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of players in this one. I think this is probably like the heaviest bracket that I can see. Obviously, I like Joe and Desai to come out. But after that, I mean, you have, like I said, you have Phil, you have Charlie, you have Connor. Connor coming off a really good performance in the OCS finals. Like,
yeah, he's had an incredible year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Endor and the MPC, and yeah, he's had some great performances. Worfs is in this pod as well, so he's getting up a little early. Obviously, Gavin, who's done well in the OCS, and Adam Fletcher as well in the OCS did very well.
Yeah. So, and again, there's a lot of players like Chris Terwilliger. The Terwilliger brothers are back. So, I like having a lot of the old players come back and play in this Worlds because it is again the 25th anniversary. So,
Team Albany reunited, came out of retirement.
Yeah, and that's kind of big.
Interesting. We're gonna see some hidden base decks. That's all spoiler alert: if you're in their pod, expect hidden base with some starship weapons because stuff's getting shot down.
And I don't think they're. I think they're on the last pod. Is that correct?
They're kind of sprinkled throughout. So.
Oh yeah.
Gianetti, you got Chris Terwilliger, you got Brian Kingery's, and Sokol, and
yeah, that's good.
Sokol will play real decks. Like Kingery, Dan Boys, and probably Brian at least will all just kind of copy the same deck together, and it'll be hidden base weapons. Spoiler alert. Sorry guys, but
so
there's only 11 people watching this, so
we're up to 13, and yeah.
That's only 13% of the field. We're fine. It's fine.
Yeah, but I mean, if you notice, we have Paul Myers on the field and watching us, and Adam Fletcher.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you said Gianetti, who's in Paul's bracket or pod, and Adam, who is in Chris Terwilliger's pod. So at least they don't have to play. At least they don't have to play against Sokol.
It's gonna suck for Paul when his Devastator gets shot down like turn 2. And I don't know how his entanglements wins then.
So. And so Sunday, I like how Sunday though we don't. I like how in Sunday we're starting at 7 a.m. Eastern time. I mean, I like that just because it's a little easier for the East Coast, a little bit easier for the West Coast. It's easier, but this one's kind of a heavy bracket too. I mean, we don't have any. I don't see any world champions off the bat.
No world champs.
But
a couple of close calls, but
there's a couple of close calls like Greg Shaw, who he's 2-timed gone.
Baroni's been in the top 4.
Baroni's always in the top 4. So
Chris Kelly, MPC.
Well, yeah, but
Steve won 2 MPCs, so yeah.
But I mean, Chris Kelly hasn't done anything for me lately.
So,
I mean,
for a while, this pod was shaping up to look a lot like our New Jersey online league.
Yeah.
Chris Kelly, myself, Greg, Bill, somebody else is in here too. Drew, who's on our team, is also in there, and then a couple other guys. So,
I will say this one is probably the easiest pod, just because whoever plays Robbie is going to basically get a free pass.
Nice. I was wondering how long it would take to get a Robbie dig. Nice.
Oh, I mean, I'm surprised Robbie's even playing. Because he's going to play Set It.
He was surprised too.
But I'm glad to see that Robbie is playing. I will say this though, out of everybody in this pod, I kind of like Kevin Yop is in this pod, so we have a European guy who's playing on other times. So, but I think
there's a couple of Euros in this pod too. It's not quite as convenient for them, but at least it's still. I mean, it's 2 a.m. through 2 p.m., 3 p.m. For them. I'm sorry, it starts at noon rather for them. Yeah, so that's not too bad.
So if I will say this, if Baroni was not in this pod, I would probably call this the Chris pod. But with Baroni in there, I'm sorry guys. He's probably the favorite. And then we have our
Baroni and Shaw and Chris Kelly probably favorites. Drew's also playing really well. OCS top 16, and Ryan Serson. That's the other person I couldn't think of. Ryan, who moved back to PA now, so he's in our league event as well. So, and then there are a couple other Euros sprinkled in there. You got Kevin,
True.
Fernando is a Euro, and I think that may be it.
Yeah.
But,
Well, and then we have our
Eric.
Eric. Eric's.
Yeah, I'm not going to pronounce Eric's last
Yeah,
name.
me neither. We all know I can't pronounce names to save my life. But and then we have our
Eric
last
Labasso.
we have our last pod of the day. This one. This one's I like. This one's going to be fun because you have the Matt Sokol, you have the Aaron Kingeries, you have Ryan Jelson. So this is going to be a very, I wouldn't say,
Scott.
Yeah, Scott's in this one. Brandon Beatty, who's in this one. So this one's going to be like the American Euros, the guys who play interesting
The more
stuff.
creative decks.
Yeah, exactly.
More creative decks going on here. Even Erisman comes up with some creative decks sometimes too. Just
True.
off the wall stuff. I mean, tractor beams aren't coded into GEMP, I don't think yet.
No, they're not.
Has been doing that on their pet project.
No.
But that may limit him a little bit. But yeah, certainly a lot more creative deck building going on here, and
but with this,
certainly some good players who can come out of it. Yeah.
Oh, with this one, like the name that sticks out right to me is MHT.
Yep.
Like he just
MHT
came.
and Hayes.
Yeah, Hayes, who won the NPC, who won the Indoor Grand Prix, so right there. And then we have MHT, who won the Texas Mini Worlds. So literally, the three event winners are in this same pod,
and their teammates.
Yeah, they're teammates.
I believe they're they're both on the Joe Olsen Team 5 team, I believe.
Oh, well.
I believe Matt's with them.
Well, crap, because they're just going to roll face in this one. Like, I will say this. If I had known that Hayes was playing, I probably would have picked Hayes in the Fantasy Worlds thing, which we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. But I ended up going with some another player.
Hayes was a last day, 2 hours before the deadline sign up, along with about 12 other people. We're like, oh, wait, the registration closes in an hour? I guess I better sign up then. Which is why we always do it a couple days earlier than we need to, because we know we're always going to get people who, oh, I forgot to sign up yesterday. It's only been up there for 3 weeks. What do you mean yesterday? You forgot to sign up for 3 weeks.
So
you knew you were going to play. You just didn't bother doing it for 3 weeks.
Well, yeah, that's their fault then.
I do have to disappoint you a little bit.
Oh,
your good buddy, your pal, Brian Fred, is in this bracket, in this pod.
Yeah.
He did not request the day off of work, so he will not be playing.
Are you kidding? That's
no. He forgot to request. He forgot to request the day off of work, and then he tried to get it last minute, and his boss said no. And he tried to ask people to switch shifts with him, and they said no. So Brian will not be playing unless some miracle happens in the next 2 days. And
hey, B. Fred, you know what? I wouldn't normally wish this on somebody, but I hope you get COVID.
Wow, that's harsh.
You know what? I want him to be okay. I want him to get like the flu.
I told him to pretend calling sick, but he wasn't having it. So
well, that's because Brian Fred is a stand-up guy, and you know what? Shout out to B. Fred. He's actually going to be helping me with a little project that we have going on for Worlds, and that's something again I'm going to get to in a few minutes. But yeah, awesome. So you really didn't have any issues coming up with the pods?
There were a few. It got a little tight for a little while there. Basically there were. I think it's 24, 26, 24, 26, I think is how it's broken out.
That seems fair.
And we had like 15 or 16 people who, evenly distributed amongst each pod.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started to get a little top heavy with the Sunday 1 p.m. and the Saturday 10 a.m. ideal time slots. But people's secondary time slots were the Saturday 4 a.m. or like I can only play Saturday. So if I can't play at 10 a.m. Saturday, I'll play at 4 a.m. Okay, perfect. Or I'll play earlier on Sunday. And then, we just kind of shifted them around. And then it was like, no, we didn't have to go to anybody's third choice, I don't think.
Really? Okay.
So
that's good. That's really good. I will say this though. I like how you, Greg, Chris Kelly, and Bill are all in the same pod.
Yeah, that was not on purpose or intentional. We didn't even talk about it with each other. It was just like I
Really?
started seeing them coming in, and it was like, oh, yeah, we're all. When are we guys? Oh, we're all in the same pod, and they're like, oh crap. Like, well,
Well, I
all
mean,
right, well, we'll just play.
it's all you can do. I mean, just get out
Sure.
there, bring out your decks, and play some Star Wars CCG. So
Mhm. Oh, thank you for pointing that out, Casey. Yes, Brian Twilliger was also a World's runner-up in
yeah,
2014 in Toronto. The
to
Toronto
Emil.
World. Yep,
So yeah.
where he played hidden-based weapons.
Why am I not surprised? Like, don't get me wrong, hidden base weapons seems like it's a fun deck to play, but at the same time,
You really got to be dialed in, and you really got to keep track
yeah.
of everything that's moving around. Um, and
And
if your opponent plays like a shuffle or something like that, it can really throw off
true.
your retrieval loops, or if there's nothing for them to shoot down, and
Hmm.
they get search and destroy or something going, you can kind of outpace it. But um, the other cool thing too is there's a lot of people on here. This is their first World Championship.
Yes, I know Batmouse is playing in his first championship. I
Mm-hmm.
sponsored a player for their first championship. I know Casey did the same thing. So
Yep.
yeah,
And Casey and Bill both sponsored one or two people. So
yeah,
good guy Bill Kafer throwing up some cash to get some new blood in the event, and obviously 100 players.
yeah.
Uh,
You know what? Is
and
this the like? This is the most the PC has had for an event. I want to say, is that correct?
that sounds correct.
Like I know we had a lot for the NPC at one year because there was a spillover on the bracket, but
The,
I,
the the pod year we did, where we did the pool
yeah,
play, we had 80 that year for that. And we've gotten worlds to 69 or 70 once or
yeah.
twice
And I
in the
want to
last
say
couple
that
of
was
years.
2 years ago when Bastion won his
Yeah,
second championship.
the John, we did the John Memorial.
Yeah. So
That was, yeah.
just to remind everybody who is playing in Worlds, there are some floor rules. Chris Schoenthal, our tournament director, our tournament advocate, posted a few of those. I would definitely check those out before you play. Again, like we were saying, make sure you submit your deck lists beforehand. So, and make sure you submit them to decklists at Star Wars CCG uh, by Friday the 4th at 3 o'clock, by
Yeah,
2:59 a.m. Eastern. So I like that because it allows like the West Coast players to get them out by 11:59.
right. You got
So,
till midnight if you're on the West Coast, or,
hmm,
if you're in Europe, you might actually have the opportunity to wake up and send your deck list in.
yeah. So get them out there. Yeah, Casey, yes, you are correct. Origins in 2002 was probably the biggest event. There was a lot of people there. So,
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, Desai won that one. I think it was like 100 or Kingery won that one. Maybe it was 100 and something
hmm,
people.
yeah,
That sounds familiar. Um, 2002 it's kind of weird because it's under the PC, but we still had Decipher support in
hmm,
2002. Like they hosted Worlds, they were kind of hosting the events, and we were kind of just piggybacking off them a little bit because they
yeah,
weren't officially running it, but like their guys were running the stuff, a lot of that stuff. So yeah,
awesome. So again, yeah, I would like I said, I would check out the rules and everything. Besides that,
yeah, you
make
got
sure you have your time. Make sure you're well prepared beforehand. You're going to be sitting for a long time. I know you're at home and in front of a computer, and so make sure you have a few bottles of water or whatever kind of drink you want handy. Make sure it's going to be a long day. Like
right.
so, we do have
If
a
the average, what was that? The average game runs, we'll say 80, 85 minutes
yeah,
on Jump, give or take. And you got to play 6 of those. So
yeah.
use your time wisely.
And like I said, make sure in between games you get up, stretch, move around, so that way you're not like
Yeah.
you're not
Refocus.
refocus yourself because in between games you might not have a lot of time, but use your time wisely. Uh, After that, we again check. I would check the World Championship pages on the forums, just to see if there's anything beforehand that you need to do. And if you haven't entered, enter into fantasy worlds. This is something that we have been doing for years now. It's a fun little thing, you know. Everybody. So basically, Tom Kelly goes on. He creates a list of all the players, ranks them out, so you can see how. Like Bastion is worth 45 points. So basically, you have 100 points to spend to build your team. You need at least 3 players, and once you have them, depending on how they do, you might win a prize. Like Bastion is worth 45 points, so is Bastion worth spending 45 points on? Well, he is a 3-time world champion. So
yeah, there's some interesting combinations at the top where you start looking at people, and it's, you know, you're picking 2 of the top 12 players essentially, and then seeing what you can round out. And you know, maybe Bastion at 45 doesn't let you get the 25-point guy you want. You'd have to go to the 20-point pool instead. So then maybe you're like, maybe I'll just go with, like, you know, I'll take a 40 in a Justin Desai or a Hayes Hunter, and then a 35 and then a 25.
Yeah.
As opposed to Bastion at 45, and then you're like, all right, now I got 55 points for my last 2 players.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with that? So.
But yeah, once you do that, you're entered. Just go ahead and post on here who your team is. Make sure that, thanks to Tom, though, for posting everybody's team on the forums. So, because once a team is picked, you can't pick the same combination. So, for instance, Joe Olson here at A Rebel Spy picked Hayes, Zimawat, and Justin Branch. Solid team, but nobody else can have those 3 players.
Who'd you got? You took Justin MHT, and you took Connor. Okay, so yeah. We're on the same vein, because I took Justin MHT and.
Where are you at?
Who did I just pick? I'm at the bottom. I just did it like before the show started.
Oh yeah, Tom hasn't actually put you in. I want to say.
Yeah, I did. I did Justin MHT and somebody else in there.
Werfs.
Oh, I took Werfs. Yes.
You took Mr. Werfs.
I took El Werfo.
Well, how could you go against that? So yeah, like I said, go if you haven't signed up for this, please do. The winner will receive a AI event foil card and a set 14 preview white bordered card. That those things are nice. And I will say this, graphics is currently working on set 14. Some of the images looks really, really nice. Not to toot my own horn or anything.
You're going to know what a card does before anybody else does. If you get a set 14 preview card.
But right now, though, we still have one event going on before Worlds. That is still the Road 2 Worlds. Really, nothing has changed much here. Paul Myers is still 10-2. Gavin is also 10-2. We have a few players here at 9-3, and I want to say Greg is just right outside at 8-4. But it looks like Brad Kipple still has 2 games left, so he can actually get up there and surpass Paul. So I want to say, Chris, you're more respectful than I am right now. I'm over here. I've only played 5 games and I haven't won a single one.
Well, that's a problem.
That is a problem.
That's why you're doing commentary.
What? Ooh, low blow, sir. Low blow.
I kid.
Low.
I only kid around people I like, so.
Well, then you must love me because you and I have a back and forth. So
you're one of my favorite people, Dan.
Likewise. So, yeah, we got a lot going on this weekend. Worlds is going to be starting. We're going to have a lot of coverage to do for Worlds. We have a plethora of streamers available who are going to take their time and provide commentary. We have a list of them right now. We have about 10 streamers who are going to be providing their Twitch channels and everything so that you can go to their Twitch channels as well as the PC's channel and view. You got the PC's channel. You have Joe Olson, Kendall, Charlie Arlinson, Jerry, Bastion,
Queso,
Casey, Justin Miyashiro, Jared Napolitano, and yourself. So I
Yeah, I'll
know.
get in there somewhere and stream a game or two.
So what we'll do is I will be posting the links as we the day like as we have those links. We'll make sure check the forums and everything. We'll have those on there. Check Slack. I'll make sure they're on there as well. I'm basically the stream coordinator, so we'll make sure we get some good games. If you want to see a particular game, let me know. We'll see what we can do. We'll work with the streamers to make sure we get the best matches as well as the most interesting matches. I mean, don't get me wrong. It would be nice to feature Bastion at all 6 matches, but seeing the same deck's kind of boring. So we'll make sure we get some interesting decks.
And that's the thing too. People want to see some deck rotation, see some different ideas, and not just see the same, whatever Hitco Hunt Down B matchup 27 times. I mean, we'll see enough of that as it is, but
we will have the multi-tap or the multi-channel up, so that way if you want to watch 3 to 4 games at one time, go ahead on the
that thing.
Same on the PC site though. What we'll be doing is I will be doing in-game breaks. So say if like I'm streaming Bastion's game and Justin Branch is playing, nobody's streaming him, I'll make sure to check on him as well and check on some other players. We'll try and do a standing updates on a scroll as well, kind of like what we did with Holotheatre and all the other tournaments that have been going on. So it's going to be really good. I will say this, though. We're going to have another incentive to make sure that you watch the PC channel. We're going to be giving away packs of virtual cards. And so basically, you're going to get a pack with 12 virtual cards. 11 of them will be regular non-foil paper. The other one will be a foil white-bordered preview card from set 13. So these are the only way to get these cards, people. So if you want a preview card from, I know set 13 is out now, but it's a white bordered preview card, kind of like what Tom is giving away with Fantasy Worlds. These ones are foil.
You could have a white border Han or a white border Lando or something like that. I know some people who would go crazy for that stuff.
Yeah. We will also be giving the card that goes underneath it as well. So I will be giving 12 or 8 packs throughout each day, 2 per pod at random times. So you got to make sure that you pay attention if you want to win these.
Now, disclaimer, do not watch while you're actively playing.
Yes.
Do not watch any streams while you are playing.
Yes, please. Please. You'll have your chances.
Right. Your pod takes up 8-10 hours of your day. When you are done playing or your pod hasn't started yet and you're playing one of the later pods, watch Twitch, watch all the streams, cheer everybody on, go for it. If your pod is live, stay the hell off Twitch.
Yeah, pretty much. So make sure you tune into the PC channels to win these. These are the only time the PC is going to be giving out these cards. So what do you say we go into something a little bit more normal, Chris?
Okay. I did send you the photo, by the way. I don't know if you
yes.
Slack.
Oh, I completely forgot about that.
So this is a picture Raphael Asselin, the first world champion, posted a few years ago back on Facebook. He was contemplating selling all his trophies because he didn't know what to do with them anymore. I believe he ended up keeping them because everybody talked him out of selling them.
Yeah.
So that is his plate in the center, and then the ones around it are the larger pieces of glass that they used to give to like regional champions and things like that. Just for like a size comparison, I think. Yeah.
No, if your game is finished, if you're finishing your pod, okay, then you can watch. Like if you're completely done with 6 games, right? No.
Yes, if you played all 6 of your games and you're done, great. You can go ahead and watch.
But
if you're like, oh, I finished game too early, let me hop into the Twitch chat and see what's going on. No, just stay the hell off. It's not worth the risk.
I want to say, you'll probably get DQ'd or something. It's a bad punishment. Don't do it. But yeah, we were that's kind of like the plate that we were talking about earlier. So just a little Star Wars CCG history.
Yeah, that's the first world title right there. That's what Decipher used to give out. I know Matt Silk had one of those that was, I don't know if he still keeps it in his office. and his college office. He had it hanging up in there for a number of years.
So, but yeah, I think it's time we get into swing and a miss. We got to again. This is all worlds, so let's get into a special world swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss. All right.
First
You
one.
get to play all the games too. Nice.
You get yeah, that's what you're here for. Hitco and Watch Your Step will have more than 50% of the decks for light side. So
more than 50%. That's
they
a
will
miss.
be 50% or more than 50% of the light side decks.
I'm gonna go with a miss on that one.
I'm gonna also go with a miss. You said it. There's so many light side decks. Like,
Yeah,
there's so many.
I think it'll be up there, probably 35 to 40% between those two, but I don't think it'll get to 50.
No, I don't see 50.
Number.
Like, No Idea is still kind of a deck. Legend is still a deck. Like, Legend's still really, really good. Then, like you said, like, we know Kendall wants to play 12-card Hunt Down, so there's no Hitco or Watch Your Step.
You've got people who have all their pet decks. You've got people who really just like playing Profit. They like playing QMC. They like playing Old Allies. Yeah. Even though they're not tier 1 decks, this is the deck they just feel the most comfortable with. You know, somebody might play WAP because that's the deck
Adam
they've
Fletcher.
done really well with.
Adam Fletcher, he played WAP. He did well with it. He got into the OCS. So yeah, I could see it. What are you playing, Chris?
I'm gonna copy Scott's Mind What You Have Learned deck because I hear that really frustrates the hell out of people. And I figured since I'm playing against most of my friends, nothing better to do than frustrate the hell out of people.
That's a good plan, especially if you're gonna go like 3-3.
Yeah.
So next question. Hunt Down V will be more than 25% of the dark side decks.
100 people.
So that's 25
to 26 of the dark side. I'm going to go with that's also a miss.
I think this one's going to be closer just because Hunt Down V is... It's solid. I don't think it does anything really special, but it's the closest that you have to a mains platform, and it's pretty good. Now, don't get me wrong. You lose. You can't. Can you play a second Visage or no? You can't play a second Visage in the deck. So if it's canceled, it's canceled.
I think you can play a second Visage in it. Yeah.
Because Visage has to go down to the Holotheatre. Unless you play the Holotheatre.
I don't know. I haven't read all those cards yet. I got 26 hours still before I need to worry about that.
Sadness. So I think this one's going to be closer, but I think it's also a miss. I think there's ISB.
There's enough playable. Yeah.
Yeah. ISB is probably still the biggest contender for Darkside, but I will say this: some of the decks that I really like are the Darth Maul SSA variant, where you play his 2-0 site and you get Maul out, and then your opponent can't do anything; it can't cancel your destinies. So
yeah, it's kind of like the perfect anti-legend kind of deck, which I guess is kind of thematic in a way, because Maul was hiding in the shadows, screwing with, well, hidden episode 1 Jedi people, but yeah.
So,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see some new Shadow Collective decks. That's a deck we really haven't seen pop up much.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know that it's really that good, but
yeah, I want to say Bastion ran it a couple days ago, and when he was talking about decks, but yeah, I think Shadow Collective is a deck that could pop up. People might just keeping it secret, so.
Yeah. And then I'm sure we'll see the usual smattering of, Endor Ops, Imperial Entanglements, maybe a couple of Route Ops decks. The people who play in like Bespin CRV or that kind of stuff, or using that.
Yeah, I will say one deck that I don't like is Scum.
Yeah,
Scum took a big hit with this last set. Hitco coming around is a big impact to it. The new Interrupt is really, really good against Scum.
Yeah, between any versions of Scum, whether it's Court or CCT, which had really grown in popularity, it was becoming a good, alternative option for Darkside. Just got its legs cut out from underneath it.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, we've got a few days, so we'll see what people pull out. Okay, over under. We're going to talk about your pod here for a second.
Ooh.
This is going to be fun. You made the pods, but we're going to talk about your pod for a second. We're going to give a little over under for wins. First one, Chris Kelly, 4.5 wins.
I'm going to take the under on that. I think Chris gets 4.
You think Chris gets 4?
I think Chris goes 4-2.
I think. You know what? I think Chris is going to go 5-1. This set was made specifically for him, by him. I mean,
I think he's too tunnel visioned in. I think he's not going to see the big picture. And
you know, I mean,
don't know.
I believe in Chris. I believe in Chris. Greg Shaw, your teammate, your friend, your compadre, 4.5.
Greg's going 5-1. Greg's playing well. Greg's focused. If Greg can avoid any child rearing distractions, which at 7 a.m. he should be able to avoid for a little while, Greg will be fine. Greg will go 5-1.
Yeah, I think Greg's going to go. I can see Greg going 5-1, maybe even a 6-0. So I think it's over. Steve Baroni.
Baroni's going 5-1 too. I think him and Greg will probably split.
Yeah,
Like they'll both be like 4-0 kind of thing going into Game 5 and play each other twice and split games.
yeah. I will say this though: the only problem with Steve is if he doesn't have any issues with the restaurant, he'll go 5-1.
And again, it is early enough in the morning for him too that they probably won't be open. I mean, he might be tired coming off work from the night before.
That's true. So we'll see. Yourself, Chris Gogolen, 3.5.
I'm gonna take the under on that because while I'm feeling confident, I can pull 4-2 out of my butt. 3-3 seems a little more likely, given that I've played like 5 games in the last 6 weeks. Well, whatever I just jammed through on the.
Oh, you did. You went 4-7. So.
Yeah, and I just kind of jammed those in the last week, just cranking games through, and played a variety of different decks, looking for an answer, and none of them really felt like it was really that great, and especially the dark side. So
I will say this: if you would have told me that you didn't play the last week, going 4-7, if you would have told me it was over a little bit of time, that you were trying some new stuff, I could believe you going like a 4-2. I can see, I'm going to agree with you. I can see a 3-3 just based on your pedigree and everything, based on the fact that you're a World Hall of Famer. So, Brian Twilliger, 3.5.
It's weird with Brian because obviously we respect Brian's playing ability. Brian's been playing the game since the late '90s. He's been playing for 20 years, but he hasn't played recently.
True.
He's been trying to jam some games in the last couple of days to just kind of crash course it. And also just the mechanics of just playing on Gem.
I think that's going to be a problem.
Click, and I think Brian's more likely to time out because a lot of newer players who aren't familiar with Gem also have issues with clock management.
Yeah.
And the timeout rules are not friendly. It's just
no, they're not. No, they're not.
So,
I'm
feeling he's a player likely to lose a game by a timeout and probably go, 3-3 because of a time loss.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest issue is he's not familiar with GEMP at this point. So I agree.
Right.
So yeah, I'm going to say under as well. And our last one, Kyle Kruger, 3.5. I'm going to say this: Kyle doesn't have to travel, so that's a big bonus for him.
He does not. Now he's coming. If he's playing Sunday at 7 a.m., he's probably coming right off work because it'll be 4 a.m. there West Coast time for him. So if he works the night before, because he works in the casino still, I believe. So if he's coming right off of work and then jumping in to play a 6-game tournament, he may certainly start off strong. We don't know how Kyle might just fall asleep by game 4 or 5.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good point. I will say this though, Kyle did make the top 4 at the MPC.
Yeah, absolutely. But that was also played at a slightly different time.
Yeah.
It's a little more favorable time slot
That's
for him.
True.
But he picked this time slot, so I'm sure he'll be prepared for it. But
I mean, I could see him going 4-2. I really could. Kyle, he's also a world's runner-up, I believe. Twice. So yeah, I could see him doing it easily, especially if he picked this time. That tells me he's ready. So
he'll have a nice stash of Red Bull and
Yeah.
throw in some vodka and give it a go.
Oh God. Okay. So there will be at least 30 different objectives played in Worlds this year.
Ooh,
Uh,
30 objectives.
yeah, I want to say we have over 50 in the game right now. So it's now. I mean, obviously, I don't think like rescuing the princess, Dantooine base operations,
No.
those ones. That's four right there with the operatives aren't going to be played.
No.
You could possibly see an invasion, just because you draw sixes and it's fun to hit Jedi. And if you expect a lot of hit code, it's fun to hit Jedi.
You draw nines if you're playing the blaster, right?
Yeah,
Eights for the blaster rifles. Yeah.
ace with the blaster rifles. Boom, hit Luke. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Just shoot everybody down.
Just shoot him. Yeah.
30 objectives. That's going to be close, especially with some of them. Like you might see both versions of Hunt Down, the regular and the virtual
True.
version.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know, little things like that. Yeah, I think 30 is a good number. I think we'll get because that's 15 per side, and I mean you'll see some.
You don't even need 15 per side. I think the biggest factor is I'm going to go under on this just because SSA is a huge card.
Sure.
And being able to play like we said, Maul's cave or hut or whatever you want to call it, with a good battleground is really really good.
That's strong. Even the Daguerre Cave version is good now.
Yeah.
Everybody playing the Yoda after doing some ping damage.
Yeah, Jared Konsker showed us that in the NPC, just decimating Diplo. I don't think Diplo is going to be seen, so that's another light side where Diplo is just not in a good spot right now. Now, like you said, though, I think we're going to see like an Endor Ops. We might see. I don't think we're going to see like a Bring Him Before Me, a Tig.
I think we'll see Brigham.
You might really.
We'll see a couple, at least 2 or 3 people will play Brigham.
That's fair. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, hidden base is definitely going to be seen.
Yeah.
Joe.
Maybe a Black Sun, maybe a Court. Still, people will still play it just because they feel the most comfortable with it.
I can see Vic playing it with mains.
Sometimes that's a thing too. You play the more of a main version on it. Set your course. Obviously, now with the shield gone, certainly gets a little better too because now you can just stunning leader Sidious in the docking bay.
Yeah,
it's still slow, which is the problem. But
it's slow. But I mean, if you think about it this way, you first turn. I mean, you don't have to do the flip. You just do Star Destroyers in space.
Star Destroyers or ties, monkey ties, whatever.
Yeah, with the new system that was released in Set 13. Yeah, I could see
Milwaukee, yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to get close. I could say maybe like 26 objectives. But again, with SSA being out there, CRV, CPV.
Yeah, there's certainly enough of those.
Yeah.
You're right. We'll probably see 30 different deck types, but maybe not 30 objectives because of the variation there.
Okay, and our last question for the day. Oh. It would help if I would have made this bigger.
You think we'll see a Rescue the Princess deck according to the chat, Joker King?
You know what?
Are you playing Rescue the Princess? Because that would be insider information.
Yeah, let us know. Come on. I would love to see a Rescue the Princess. I really would. Just because I would like to see it and win a game. But we'll see. Worlds will be won by someone who has not won it before. You're muted. There you go. I'm gonna say it's a hit.
I'm lagging a little bit.
Huh?
Yeah, if you're taking, I mean, basically you're taking the field. I mean, you've got
Sokol,
Justin, Phil, Matt.
Yeah.
4 guys. 4 guys versus 96.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, the guy I really like is MHT.
This could obviously be the year he gets all the way there. Sure.
Yeah. And if that's the case, okay. on a side note, say if MHT wins this Worlds, do you give the player of the year to Hayes or to MHT?
That'll depend on the points, right?
Well, okay, yeah, the points.
I gotta update the standings a little bit. I'm a little behind on that, but yeah, typically the world champion gets the most points anyway. So unless Hayes is the runner-up,
God, that would be fun. That would be fun. Hayes and MHT.
Yeah,
but I like
if that's your finals, the two of them against each other, then yeah, I think Hayes probably squeaks them out on points, but.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I do agree that you can't really bet against Sebastian and Desai. Desai's playing really, really well right now.
There's a reason those guys are in both the Hall of Fame and multiple world champions. They're just that.
And really I want to say Justin has a little bit of a motive to get to 3 to tie Bastion.
He'll tell you he doesn't care about that. He doesn't keep worried about that, but
he does. He does. He does.
Him and Johnny both kind of deep down, they are competitive. They want to win. They want everyone to think they're number one, like most of the people who play competitive games of any sport do.
Yeah.
But they try and stay cool and stay humble about it too. I'm sure Matt would love to win the second one. So
that's true
too. The 20th anniversary of his world championship.
Did he? Is it the 25th?
He won Worlds in 2000, so 20 years later, his 20th anniversary.
Okay, that's right.
Of his World Championship win.
Yeah, Phil would love to win his second. I mean, if Matt or Phil, if Matt wins, you got to put him in the top 5 all time, easy. If Phil wins, yeah, he's got to be up there too, especially with the field as deep as it is. There's a lot of good players. So,
and Tom's been runner-up. This could be the year Tom wins. So there's a lot in the field. There's a lot of top guy. It could be the year Baroni finally wins the world championship.
Yeah.
So
what?
Like these guys said, it's
tough
to, when it's 96-4. It's tough to bet on the 4, but those 4 are pretty darn good.
Yeah, I would love to see a Baroni Desai championship. That would be fun to watch. I know they have scooped and shared the money and taken the titles and everything. But Steve winning his first or Justin winning his third, there's got to be some give there.
Honestly, if I were a betting man, I would bet Justin scoops to Steve on that one.
Yeah, I could see it.
To give him his world championship.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all we got for Swing and a Miss. Just got a few last things before we call it a night. First of all, there was no winner for the deck building challenge. I think everybody's just getting ready for Worlds. Nobody took on the Chris Kelly challenge. Nobody drew any 6s for Battle Destiny. Even Chris Kelly didn't participate in the Chris Kelly challenge. How about that? Come on, people. So for the next 2 weeks while we're in Worlds mode, we're not going to do any deck building challenges, so look for those to come back after Worlds. Also, in the next couple weeks, what we're going to be doing for the forums is Holotheatre is going to be presenting its Guest of the Year. The Guest of the Year will be awarded a special foil Holotheatre with as the Guest of the Year. Basically, what I want everybody to do is once we're done with this show, I'm going to put onto the forums under the new Holotheatre subforum on the general discussion a list of every guest that we've had from now until, or from the beginning of the year till now. And the reason we're cutting it off now is we're just going to be talking about we'll probably include their guests next week and the following week onto this. I would like to have this done by the end of the year, obviously. And yeah, just go on, vote for your favorite guest. And we'll get that player a special foil Holotheatre, and we're going to see about doing like a stamp or something onto it as Holotheatre Guest of the Year for 2020. So
that's a cool prize.
That is a cool prize. Yeah, came up with that last night. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. So again, Worlds this weekend. Tune into the PC channel. win yourself a pack of set 13 V cards. I'm only going to give these out once, people. Well, once on Saturday and once on Sunday, so technically twice. So, but again, I want to thank Chris for being my my special guest this week. Unfortunately, we're out of time, so we can't do the lore challenge. Maybe we'll have him on later to do that.
I've been studying all my spelling all day too. I thought,
well, we don't do the spelling challenge. Do you want to do the lore challenge, Chris? Okay.
Why not?
Okay, really quick. Your lore challenge card.
I have to tell you the lore, or you're going to tell me
I'm
the
going
lore?
to read you the total. It's a dark side card.
Okay.
And it is. Here's the lore.
Are they plotting to kill Jabba?
No. Chief of Security and political officer on the Executor. Responsible for ensuring the loyalty of his fellow officers. Disapproved of Vader's unwillingness to simply kill Skywalker.
Let's go with... That's a good one. I don't know. I'll guess Brandi.
Commander Brandi. That's a good guess. I will say that is a really good guess. Unfortunately, it's Lieutenant Subu.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, cool. There you go.
So. But. Good guess. So, again, I'll thank Chris for being on with me today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Next week, we'll have a player who played in Worlds, had fun, Maybe we'll have a first. You know what? We'll have a first-time player, so that way they can go over their first experience with Worlds, and then the following week we'll probably have the World Champion on to talk about their performance. Until then, good night, and may the Force be with you.